So how and when should you increase the prices of your coaching program? Do you ever wonder that? Let's talk about that in this video. Hey guys, what's going on? Yuri, Elkaim, your CEO and founder of Healthpreneur. We help health professionals and coaches get more clients and scale their businesses online. And if you are a coach and you're wondering how much you should charge, or more specifically, when you should increase your prices, then I'm going to show you exactly how to navigate that right here. First of all, why should we increase our prices? Well, before we talk about increasing prices, let's talk about what the base should be to begin with. If you're a health coach, wellness professional, health professional, etc., in a coaching type of business, and you are charging for an outcome, not per session, we recommend charging anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 as a starting point for an outcome, not for the hour. Okay, and just to be clear. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, Yuri, that sounds like, I don't know if I could charge that amount of money. Well, listen, you might have to go back to the drawing board and kind of do some internal work, because the reality, and hopefully through this video, I'm gonna help you understand that the transformation you can create for your clients is immeasurable. It doesn't matter if you charge $5,000. If you can help someone end suffering with their weight, health issues that no one else has been able to help them with, do you think that that might be worth just a little bit more than $2,000 or even $5,000? I mean, you can't even put a price on that. And it's the things that we value most in life that are the hardest to price. We're not talking about putting a price on a chair, but we're putting a price tag on someone's health transformation. So just understand, $2,000 to $5,000, you are still undercharging. I know that sounds like, oh, you might be crazy, or you're like, you know what? No, I agree with you. I think that's about fair. Most of our clients are in that ballpark. We do have clients that are charging $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, even $10,000 for a health outcome. And we're not talking about a 12-month, 24-month program. We're talking about an outcome that's created in 6, 8, 12, 16 weeks. Because remember this, it's not about giving people more stuff. It's about helping them achieve an outcome. And the faster you can do that, the more valuable your offering becomes. So if you want to increase your prices, it's not about increasing the length or duration or the amount of time you spend with clients. Because if a client were to say to you, well, I really want more one-on-one time with you, you could just ask them, well, let me just ask you this. If I could help you achieve the outcome you want tomorrow, or we could go through the same process, but it would take us 12 months, which one would you want? Well, I'd rather have it tomorrow. Okay, cool. So it's $5,000. And if they give any kind of like inkling around like, oh, that's too expensive, I really want more stuff, it's like, well, do you want more time with me, or do you want the outcome? Because most people want an outcome. Most humans want results yesterday, and fast is better than free. So if you can provide better outcomes for your clients faster, you should charge accordingly. Okay, so it's not about giving them a million videos to watch and 1,000-page books. It's about giving them less and helping them achieve an outcome faster. That is how you increase the perceived value in your market, in your prospects' minds when they're speaking with you. Okay, so just a couple things. So $2,000 to $5,000 for your coaching program. Why premium pricing? I'm gonna give you 3 reasons. Number 1, it's better for your clients. If someone asks you why you charge so much, here's the answer: because you are worth it. Like, you're telling this to the prospect. They might say, what are you talking about? Because like, if you charge premium prices, do you think your clients will show up at a better level to get better results? Yes, I'll give you an example. About a year ago, I purchased a parenting course, not a coaching program, a course for $247. Do you know when the last time I logged into that course was? No, like, I'm serious. Like, do you know when that was? Because I don't, right? And that's the truth, is that when we don't pay attention. And the less we pay, the less attention we pay. So if you want more committed clients, and more importantly, if you want your clients to achieve the results that they want, the more they pay, the better the results they're gonna get. And it sounds counterintuitive, because you're like, oh, I wanna help everyone. I wanna be a martyr in the service of other people. Stop playing that game. I did that for way too long, and it leads to burnout and frustration, and you hate your business. You can't run a business like that. You can't lead a life like that. You have to take care of yourself. But the only way you take care of yourself is by taking better care of other people, and starting with your clients by charging a premium price. Okay? So number 1, it's better for your clients because they show up more committed, and it obviously attracts people who are committed to getting the outcome. One more example. Many years ago, when I was launching my second book, The All-Day Fat Burning Diet, we did a beta test, and I just put an email out to my list and said, hey guys, I'm looking for a bunch of beta testers who want to test this out for free. Gather some testimonials we can use in the book. We had like 600 beta testers. Guess how many testimonials we collected? If you've read the book, it's like 10 or 12 that we actually ended up using. It's not because the process didn't work. It's because that like 500 of those people stopped doing the thing after the first day because there was no skin in the game, right? So you can either let this sink in and be like, you know what, you're right, or you can continue struggling in business financially, right? If you want to try to serve everyone for nothing, that's your choice. I don't think it's a good decision. Second reason why premium pricing is better is that it forces you as the business owner to create something magical for your clients. So you're going to attract better clients because the pricing is higher. Second is you are going to do whatever you possibly can to create something that is incredible for them to go through because you're a good person, right? And you want people to experience something amazing. You're not going to take people for a ride. Why would you charge $5,000 and scam people? Like, that's never going to happen. But if you charge $100, there's only so much you can do. So by charging more, it forces you in a good way to create something amazing for your clients. Think of it this way. Do you think there's a fundamental difference between a Rolls-Royce, Ferrari, McLaren, and like Honda Civic? No offense if you drive a Honda Civic, but those cars are fundamentally better and constructed better and they perform better. And guess what? They're more expensive. That's the way the world works. You get what you pay for. And that's because those companies, and I'm sure there's obviously margins that, whatever they are, but you're not going to buy a $300,000 car and get shit performance. That's just not going to happen. Okay? And it's the same thing with anything in life. Generally, the more expensive things are better. You buy a more expensive house, it's generally a better house in a better location than living in a trailer, right? It's really simple, okay? So that's the second reason, is that it forces you to be better at what you do. Third is that when you increase your prices, assuming everything else stays the same, that increase in price goes right into your pocket. And what I mean by that, it goes to your bottom line, your net income, your profit. So let's say you're charging $3,000 for a coaching program, you make $100,000 per year, and you increase your prices by 10%. So $3,000 to $3,300. It's an imperceptible jump. Like, someone's not gonna be like, man, that $3,300 is a lot of money, but you know what? If it was $3,000, I would totally be in. No one's ever gonna say that, okay? So it's like imperceptible, but it's very perceptible to your P&L. So by increasing your prices by 10%, that 10% goes right to your profit, which means your net free cash flow. Which means as the business owner, you can take that money out of your business and do whatever you want with it, okay? So you have to understand that pricing is the single biggest, easiest, and most influential lever in your coaching business. There is nothing else you can do that is gonna move the needle of your bottom line as much as increasing your price as well. Sure, the offer is important. Yes, you can change the red button to the green button. You can change the headline. You can change all that kind of stuff. Those are all tiny in comparison to increasing your prices. It is that important, okay? So with that said, pricing, the way I see it, is it's 100% philosophical. It has nothing to do with the marketplace. Now, let's kind of come back to earth for a second. You might not charge $5 million for a coaching program to help someone lose weight, right? The likelihood of that working is probably pretty slim. However, I'm gonna show you the most important determinant of pricing in just a second that could actually make sense for that. But in general, you're not seeing that kind of stuff in the marketplace. So let's just be like somewhat realistic. Several $1,000s for a coaching program is not out of the norm. We have hundreds of clients right now that are charging those prices and doing very, very well. So if pricing has nothing to do with what other people are charging, it's very hard to determine supply and demand curves for service-based prices, because a lot of times value is in the eye of the beholder. And if your service is fundamentally better than someone else's, you shouldn't compare your prices to them. Let's say you're a naturopathic doctor helping, coaching clients online with hormone issues, right? You might look at so-and-so and say, you know what, they're charging a lot less. I should charge less as well. Why would you do that? Right? Number one, they might be mediocre at best. But even if they're amazing, why would you compare your prices to theirs? What are you afraid of? That you're gonna lose business to them? You might anyways, but guess what? There are millions of people who are gonna better resonate with you. Do you think that Ferrari, McLaren, Bugatti, Rolls-Royce, do you think that they're gonna discount the prices because Toyota charges 20 times less for their cars? No way. So when I say pricing is philosophical, what I mean by this is you decide what echelon of the marketplace you want to occupy. So when you think of the Four Seasons Hotels, Isidore Sharp, who is the founder of the Four Seasons Hotels, at some point in that journey, he made a decision that they were going to be the best possible solution for customers in the marketplace when it comes to getting a hotel. And they decided at some level that they were going to be premium priced, just like Ritz-Carlton did, just like whatever other high-end hotels there are. It's a decision. And I'm sure they look at their numbers and, and all that kind of stuff, but there's no gun being held to your head saying you must charge 10% within the range of everyone else in your industry. That doesn't exist. So it's a decision for you to say, what part of the spectrum do I want to be on? You're either the cheapest and you're the Walmart, or you're the most expensive. You play in the middle, that's the dead zone. That's where you get crushed by commoditization, where everyone's comparing you and nickel and diming you because someone else is $5 less expensive. That is exhausting. You will never win and you will burn out in that area. So go premium price. If people can't afford to work with you, here's what you tell them. That's great. All the best. Whenever you want the best results, I'm here, right? Do you think McLaren discounted my cars when I bought them? If I like, hey, like, is there anything you can do here? They're like, no, this is the price. Like, okay, well, what am I gonna say? Like, no, Toyota's giving me a better deal over there. It's a car to go from A to B. Like, you either want the thing or you don't. And if you don't see the value in paying premium prices for whatever it is, then that's just not your client. But I'm telling you this, like, the best clients are those who pay you the most money and require the least from you. The worst clients are those who spend the least amount of money with you and suck the life out of you, asking you questions every second of the day, 7 days a week. If you want to repel those people, price them out of the marketplace or price yourself out of that marketplace. So pricing is 100% philosophical and it's a mindset that you have to adopt. You're never going to help everyone in the first place. Why even bother? You think like, why I get this all the time? I want to help more people. If they can't afford me, should I offer something less? No, it's a waste of time. You're never going to help them in the first place, right? Like you think you're going to help tens of millions of people like in a coaching relationship, it's not going to happen. You might as well work with a few hundred or a few thousand at high price points, take care of yourself, take care of them in a big way, and everyone's happier, okay? So never compromise on your pricing. Do not try to compete with other people. Who cares what they're charging? Because as I've said before, most businesses, and i.e. coaches, are mediocre at best. So why would you compare yourself to everyone else? Be exceptional and charge accordingly, okay? So it's 100% up here. So second thing is, as I've said before, it's the single biggest lever in your business, right? So why decrease your prices to try to, appease everyone when it just doesn't make sense, okay? Now, let's look at the 4 times when it makes sense to increase your prices, okay? So first and foremost is that when, and this is the most, I believe, one of the most important ones. I'll save the most important one for fourth, but this is the second most important, is when you feel with 100% certainty and conviction that you're undercharging. And one of the easiest ways to determine this is when you're talking to someone, you enroll them, and then you get off the phone and you're like, shit, I should have charged more. That feeling, especially when it's repeated, is an indication that you're undercharging. Second way to determine that is when you wake up in the morning and you don't feel like getting out of bed because you just don't feel that the juice is worth the squeeze, i.e. you're getting the short end of the stick because you charged too little and now you have to show up and like do this whole circus act for the clients that you're working with. Those are the 2 easiest ways to determine that it's time to increase your prices. Okay? So you have to have this certainty. The most important thing with pricing is certainty. If you look someone in the eye and say like, listen, I'm going to transform your health. We're going to work together for 12 weeks. It's $5,000. They're like, that's a lot of money. You're like, well, what do you want to do? Right? You have to bring conviction into your conversations. As I've said before, in selling, conviction is everything, okay? It's everything. If you present price and you're like, well, it's like 5,000, but like if that's too much, we can work, like you're dead, you're finished, okay? People like, they sniff that out and they'll crush you, okay? You have to have conviction with your pricing. So that's the first most important piece. So in terms of when to increase your price. Second thing is if you're adding something to your delivery. So let's say you hired a coach or you added some feature that costs you some money in terms of cost of goods sold or cost of service, and you want to bake that into the price so you're not eating your own profit. Okay, so that's another easy way of determining when you should increase your prices. So if you had to hire a coach and that coach costs you whatever, $50,000 for the year, you can just kind of bake that into your pricing so that each incremental client helps cover the cost of that. Third is when you actually are able to improve your delivery in such a way where you can make a bigger promise or help your clients achieve a better outcome in less time. So let's say that you help people lose weight and it takes you 6 months to do that. And all of a sudden you're figuring out what's working better than other things. You start to modify some stuff and you start to think like, hold on, I can help people achieve the same weight loss in a third of the time. So now all of a sudden, without changing anything other than the length of your program, making it shorter, i.e. results in less time, you can increase your prices because that's more valuable. People would rather have results yesterday than 5 years from now. So that's the third reason or the third time when you can increase your prices. And fourth, and this is a big one, is if you decide to change your avatar. What I mean by this is I'm not saying change your market, I'm saying change your avatar. As an example, if I, with Healthpreneur, decided that, you know what, we're only working with business owners who are doing $10 million a year and above, you better believe I'd be adding a 0 to my prices, okay? For the same deliverable, for the same outcome, all we're doing is working with a different caliber of clients within the same market space, within the same market, okay? So I'm not saying I'm going to shift from like health professionals growing their businesses to now doing real estate. I'm talking about like I'm still going to serve the target audience I want to serve, which is health professionals. But within that, I'm targeting a more advanced, if you will, more financially resourceful segment to that market, in which case if I make small adjustments to their business, they see huge amplifications. Nothing changes on the delivery, but I can charge more. So a lot of times pricing is not determined by what you're delivering, but who you are delivering to. So think about your marketplace. If there's a slight shift in your avatar, if you're working with clients for years and you start to recognize who are the clients that pay me the most money, who are the clients that get the best results, and you start to look at patterns, you're like, you know what? All right, I've noticed that like 20% of my clients have these things in common. Therefore, my marketing is all going to be built around those people because I know I can help them get better results in less time. They're a joy to work with. And as a result of that, because I can get them better results en masse, I can charge more. So who you decide to deliver to or coach is a very important determinant of your pricing, right? If you want to help people who are teenagers, if you want to help teenagers improve anxiety, like get ready for some free lunch and learns. That's pretty much what it's going to be. If you want to help older adults, right, 40s, 50s, decrease their anxiety so they can perform better in their business, same problem, different avatar, different pricing. See that? So now we know the 4 times when it makes sense to increase your prices. And let me show you the 2 ways how to increase your pricing. So way number 1 is going to be with existing prospects. So existing prospects are people you've already had a conversation with. They're in your pipeline. They're like, I need to think about it. I'll message you. We all know what that means, right? So these people, you want to clean out your pipeline. And essentially what we're going to do here is we're going to remind them, send them a text, email campaign, promotion campaign, whatever you want to call it. And it's reminding them like, hey, heads up, we're increasing our prices by 10% next week. All of a sudden now it's like, oh, and the reason we're doing this is because it's October. That's it. Or it's sunny outside, or it's my birthday, or we've made this improvement to the program, or we're able to produce better results in less time. A couple of reasons I gave you earlier. So you usually have to have a reason why whenever you're doing something different. Okay, if you're putting something out there and you're making an ask of someone, give them a reason why they're doing it. And it doesn't have to be like the world's best reason. It could just be like, hey, it's my birthday, or you know what, I'm feeling good because it's the fall, or legitimately, we've added some coaches to the team, or we've made it better so you get results in less time. Therefore, we're increasing the prices to reflect that. If you want in, let me know. Let's jump on a quick call. We'll get you started. And by the way, we're only bringing in 5 more people at the current prices because we know we're already undercharging. So you can throw in an element of scarcity, exclusivity, urgency with that type of promotion. So the goal when you're increasing your prices, you got to clean out that pipeline. You got to get all those people who've been sitting on the fence, get them off the fence into working with you if they're the right fit. Now, before I share the second how to increase your prices, let's just talk about the increase in price itself. I think it's easiest to just increase your prices by 10 to 20%, okay? So let me give you an example with the second reason. So we talked about existing customers or existing prospects. Now let's look at new prospects. So if people come to your pipeline, they're booking a call with you, they didn't even know what your previous pricing was. So here's the best way that I recommend. So you're talking to someone, you show them your pricing, they're like, cool, let's do this. You're like, awesome, got a yes. Get a couple more yeses, build that confidence. After you've got a handful of yeses at whatever the price point is, let's call it $3,000, increase the price 10%, right? Or let's just keep it simple. Go from $3,000 to $3,500. So then the next batch of people you speak with, what they're seeing is $3,500 for the same program, right? They don't know that there was previous pricing. And listen, guys, if you think there's an issue with this, trust me, every single company in the world has increased their prices without even you thinking about it. Or maybe you're aware of it. Apple computers, cars, airlines. Think about this, airlines. You could book a flight now, and in an hour from now, that same seat could be $500 less. What are the airlines gonna do about that? They don't give a shit, right? That's just the way the airline industry works. So don't feel bad about the fact that people last week paid $500 less than people enrolling this week for the same thing, because you were already undercharging to begin with. So you get a handful of yeses, you build that confidence, you're like, man, I'm undercharging. Cool, let's take it to $3,500 for the next couple conversations. You get some more yeses, you're like, cool, this is great. Take it up to $4,000, right? You keep repeating the same pattern. So with new customers, new prospects, you just start increasing as you feel confidence that you can charge more or get more for the same deliverable, because remember, you are always undercharging no matter what. And it's not about gouging people. It's you stepping into your power and earning what you're truly worth for the outcome you're helping someone achieve. So take it to whatever level you want, but I think 10 to 20% increases every couple of months or every couple of enrollments, however you want to do it, is more than fair to get to the point where you're going to hit that sweet spot, where you're going to have people say like, oh shit, that's a lot of money. You want people to be taken back by the price, but not shocked, because they do see the value, but they're like, man, that was more than I was thinking about. But I see the value, and I understand that if I do this other stuff that's like half the price, I'm not gonna get the results. So now they have to really think about it, like, okay, I gotta move some money around. I really wanna make this happen, because they see the value in it. So do not worry if people say it's too expensive or they don't see that, like, I mean, you should be more worried if someone doesn't see the value. That's a different scenario. But if people are taken aback by your pricing, that's good. You want to push the envelope because you don't want people to be like, yeah, let's do it. And they're like, shit, I should have added another zero to that. You don't want to fall into that situation, okay? So those are the two ways how to increase your pricing. We talked about existing customers, clean the pipeline out, use a reason why type of promotion. And then new customers or new prospects coming in is you get a bunch of yeses, you increase the price whenever you feel confident to do so, you get more yeses, you increase the price whenever you want to, and you do that, so forth and so on, okay? So we've covered the two ways how to do it, we talked about the 4 times when to do it, and we've covered 3 reasons why premium pricing is so important, and then fundamentally understanding and remembering that pricing is always in your head, and it is 100% philosophical, especially in a coaching service-based business where you are not selling commodities that can be easily compared to other stuff that's being sold on Amazon. Cool? So there you go. That's how and when to increase your pricing for your coaching business. I hope this helped. If it has, let me know which one of the insights has made the most sense for you in the comments below. Thanks so much for your time. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you soon.